What if Marvel has already shown us one of the biggest secrets in Avengers Doomsday, and almost everyone completely missed it? Because there's one masked character in Latveria who looks like just another mysterious figure, but what if that mask is hiding someone we've already met, someone connected to Doctor Strange? And now, a new image has fans asking one question: who is Boris? He isn't exactly a brand new character, but this version is mysterious enough to raise a lot of questions. Where did he come from? Why is he wearing that mask? And what does he have to do with Doctor Doom? More importantly, recent leaks have reportedly mentioned this character before, and if those reports are accurate, there's a strong possibility that Boris is actually Doctor Strange. Now, obviously, we don't know if this will actually happen in the movie, but there are some seriously interesting clues. One possibility is that Boris isn't really a code name at all. Instead, Marvel could be using the name Boris Strange as an alternate identity for Doctor Strange, and that would actually make sense if Marvel is borrowing ideas from the comics. We've already seen Doctor Strange's connection to the Third Eye, and the mysterious details surrounding his powers could become important here. But there's another major connection. In the comics, Boris is deeply connected to the Doom family and Latveria. He's essentially an advisor and guardian figure within Doom's world, and depending on how Marvel adapts this story, Boris could have a much bigger role than simply standing beside Doom. He could be someone who understands magic on a level that very few people in Latveria do, and that brings us to the biggest possibility. Think about what Doctor Doom may be trying to accomplish. If Doom is attempting to create or control a Battleworld type reality, he's going to need someone capable of dealing with magic, dimensions, and multiple realities. And that's exactly where Doctor Strange could become incredibly important. Imagine Doom having access to someone who understands the mystical side of the multiverse, while Doom handles the scientific and technological side. Together, they could potentially manipulate multiple universes and merge them into one reality. That's where the rumored Latverian witches become interesting. If there are multiple high-level magic users working under Doom, there may be a very specific reason for them being there. They could be helping Doom perform the massive magical operation required to bring different realities together. And if Avengers Doomsday is building toward a Battleworld-style event, this could be one of the ways Marvel sets it up. What if Boris isn't actually Doctor Strange at all? What if we're looking at a variant, a strange variant who ended up in Latveria and became connected to Doom? That would explain why the character could visually resemble Strange while still being completely different from the version we've already seen. And the mask becomes even more interesting, because if everyone around him believes they're looking at Boris, while the audience eventually discovers there's a much bigger identity underneath that mask, Marvel could be setting up a major reveal. Look closely at the design. The mask doesn't appear to look exactly like Doctor Doom's iconic armor. Instead, it has a cleaner, more mysterious appearance, and the outfit itself has a slightly reddish tone in some shots. That could simply be the costume design, or it could be a visual reference to Doctor Strange. Because Marvel has a history of hiding character identities through costume changes, alternate versions, and misleading names. And if Boris is connected to Strange, the visual similarities might be intentional. But there's an even darker theory. Some fans have pointed out that the mysterious masked character could potentially be connected to death. And that would fit surprisingly well with Doom's story. Because if Doom is trying to manipulate reality, resurrect people, or rebuild a world that has already been destroyed, the concept of death becomes extremely important, especially when you remember that Doom's obsession isn't only about power, it's also about control. Control over reality, control over life, and potentially control over the people he's lost. So if this character is connected to that side of the story, Boris could be much more important than he initially appears. There's another detail that makes this theory even more interesting. Reports have suggested that there could be 3 Latverian witches, with Boris potentially acting as some kind of supervisor or higher-level magical figure. If that's true, why would Doom need multiple powerful magic users? Because merging different universes wouldn't exactly be a simple spell. It could require multiple sorcerers working together to manipulate the boundaries between realities. And if Doom is standing at the center of that operation, Boris could be the person helping him control the magical side of it. That would make the character far more important than a simple advisor. He could be one of the key pieces in Doom's entire plan. And here's where things get really interesting. Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange are completely different characters, but they have one thing in common. Both are obsessed with mastering forces that most people can't understand. Doom uses science, technology, and magic. Strange uses mystical knowledge and dimensional magic. So if Marvel puts a Strange variant inside Doom's world, it creates a perfect contrast. One doctor is trying to protect reality. the other may be trying to reshape it. And if Boris is actually a strange variant serving Doom, that could make the reveal one of the biggest twists in the entire movie. For now, we have to treat all of this as theory. The leaked information could be wrong. The character could simply be Boris, or Marvel could be hiding a completely different identity underneath that mask. But if the reports are accurate, and Boris really is connected to Doctor Strange, then Avengers? Doomsday may have already shown us one of its biggest secrets without anyone realizing it. And that's exactly the kind of mystery Marvel loves to hide in plain sight. But here's the question I want you to think about. If Marvel really is hiding Doctor Strange behind the name Boris, why would they go this far to hide his identity? Is Boris a strange variant? Is he connected to death? Or is Marvel setting up something even bigger for Doom's plan? Let me know your theory in the comments, because the moment that mask comes off, we might finally understand what Doom has been planning all along.